What's up, motivators? Things are getting a little stupid. And we have a saying in the Marines when things get stupid. It's time to break it down Barney style. Discussing anything weight-related these days is a polarizing subject, and it doesn't just make people uncomfortable. It's starting full-on beefs. Sorry, this is a bull-themed channel and the puns just kind of happen. So is it even possible to have a conversation in this country about the obesity epidemic without being labeled a fat-phobic piece of trash? Turns out yes. Yes, you can. It turns out it's not entirely the fault of hypersensitive, virtue-signaling social justice warriors. As it turns out, you might be the asshole. Yeah, shocking, I know. Look, don't get me wrong. There is some aggressively nonsensical drivel coming out of some folks in the fat acceptance and body positive movements, misconstruing narrow scope studies and passing on grade A bullshit as fact. But we're not going to get anywhere if we don't acknowledge that also on the other side of the conversation, not everything that we do every time is or ever was actually intended to be helpful. So today we're going to take a look at some of the dead wood propping up straw men on both sides of this argument and see if we can't turn at least some of this conversation productive. First things first, we need to clarify a few things. We all have the tendency to conflate ideas and concepts, merging the ludicrous with the legitimate and presenting both as the same thing, and we all have to stop doing that. For instance, both sides need to separate the ideas of beauty and personal worth away from the healthy at any size conversation. Do you think that fat people are gross? You're an asshole. Don't be an asshole. Think that stating that the likelihood of most major causes of death is drastically increased by obesity is fat-phobic? You need to decouple your emotional reaction from the medically established facts that are staring you in the face. We also need to understand the difference between a professional speaking to an audience about the risks and societal impacts of a nationwide obesity epidemic with some rando John Q. Public reciting unsolicited fat facts to his overweight coworker. The latter is not just keeping it real. You're not telling it like it is. When you put people in your life on the spot when they didn't ask you and you're not qualified to weigh in, you're not a misunderstood hero and you're not the victim when they treat you poorly. On the other side of that coin, a professional well-versed in the material and knowledgeable on the subject, speaking in general to an audience that is voluntarily consuming their content on the risks of an issue that affects more than half of our nation, isn't a phobic bigot. Just because you don't like what they have to say doesn't make it a personal attack, and it certainly doesn't make it hate speech. We are better served by sticking to the facts. So let's go over some. Obesity comes with increased risks to your longevity and quality of life. Those are the facts. Now, if you use those facts to demean, dismiss, or hurt people, you're a bully. If you disagree, then leave. I don't want you here. But you're not helping anybody with your tough love. But denying well-established medical facts supported by numerous studies and overwhelming everyday anecdotal evidence from the people around you does not make you the plucky, enlightened resistance fighter. It makes you no better than a chemtrail sniffer, a flat earther, a climate change denier, an anti-vaxxer. Yeah, that's you. Fat shaming is real. People who are overweight are treated like shit every day, and they're not upset over nothing. Society actually does need to grow and treat them better. But that's not to say that everything that calls being overweight into question is an attack. It is the single largest health issue that faces our country, and it needs to be talked about. There are lots of other unhealthy things out there. Yes, there are. Smoking, steroids, drinking alcohol to excess, driving without your seatbelt, illicit drugs. And if you have a problem with one of those things, you have absolutely no business condescendingly doling out health advice to others. Tend to your own house. But each of those problems has a strong campaign educating people against the risks of those lifestyles and those activities. They don't have celebrities with millions of followers telling people that smoking is good for your lungs, or you can't just look at someone using meth and say, that's unhealthy. Obesity directly affects a larger portion of our country and many other first world countries than any other health issue that we're facing. And for that reason, we need to talk about it. If you are chronically overweight or obese, you should consult a medical professional. Again, if you're not a medical professional and you weren't asked, your intentions are irrelevant and you need to shut the fuck up. Flip side, yeah, Some doctors are assholes. Some doctors don't even want to hear about the problem that you brought to them until you lose some weight, because some of them are bad at their jobs. But some of them are cognizant that all of these problems are drastically exacerbated by being overweight or obese, and the fastest, healthiest, simplest solution is for you to lose weight. If you actually want to help people, it is far better to create an environment where people feel safe and confident asking you for your assistance or for your advice, not shaming them. Simply because you yourself are not overweight does not entitle you to weigh in on other people's lives without being asked. And it oftentimes just adds fuel to the fire for them to resist any notion of taking responsibility and accountability for their lives, for their health, and for their future. And vehemently resisting anything that presents excess body fat as unhealthy is not fighting the good fight. Painting people who attempt to educate others on healthier life choices to positively affect their longevity and quality of life as a villain does not make you the hero. It makes you an enabler, not an ally. And I am not taking the middle ground here. I am firmly in the camp that obesity is a public problem and everyone is needed to face it. I'm not the intellectual centrist here. It is not just a simple matter of letting people live their lives when we have public figures erroneously encouraging people to live shorter, poorer quality of lives. I don't have a problem with fat people. I have a problem with preventable disease. I have a problem with public figures willfully leading others astray for things as fleeting as fame and recognition. Now, I'm not just complaining about it, I aim to be part of the solution. As of this weekend, I am officially a coach for the Damn Collective Health and Fitness team, providing weight loss counseling and accountability services in coordination with Damn Serenity Athletics and Every Damn Day Fitness. I'm proud to be a member of this team because they don't just talk about the problem, they provide concrete solutions. Right now, they are running a summer sale on their weight management, accountability, and counseling services. Even if you have no intention of taking advantage of it, I encourage you to click on the link below and see how much value you get. See how serious they are about making a difference to this nationwide problem. This is a serious problem and a serious conversation, not a commercial. I didn't ask permission before I started putting this video together, and Alan, Crystal, ultimately I hope it's okay that I'm putting this information out there. I'm doing so because I believe in it, and if you decide to sign up, I don't gain anything from it personally unless you ask for me. In that case, well, duh. I'm involved because I believe in it. I believe that this is a massive problem that affects the majority of the people in our country and that we have to do something about it. And I am proud to be a part of the solution. So if you're ready to take your health seriously and you got 50 to 100 pounds to lose, I would consider just checking out the link below and see if it's for you. You get an awful lot of value. The Roberts are incredibly generous with their time and their resources. But if you decide it is for you, honestly, I'd move pretty quickly because every year the slots fill up very fast. But at the end of the day, this video isn't about one solution to a problem that directly or indirectly affects everyone in this country. It's about the fact that this conversation on healthy at any size has gone so far into the swamp, we spend more time being upset about things that don't even belong in the conversation than actually dealing with the problem at hand. And we need to do better. We owe ourselves better and we owe each other better. So if you gain nothing else from this, just consider the following. We are facing a serious health issue in this country, and we could all be doing better. Just because you think you're right doesn't mean that you are. Just because you think you're doing the right things doesn't mean that you are. And I think a little bit of self-examination would be good for all of us. I'm Kevin, and this is Pure Bullfit. Until I see you guys in the next video, try to take care of yourselves.
Yeah, baby.